is securely mounted, no abrasions, it's no cuts, it's not dry rotted. Okay, make sense?
Yes.
And there's no more than 3/4 inch deflection. Deflection is pushing away, just like football. You deflect the ball, right? You don't ever pull it like this.
Okay,
You don't deflect it. You don't push it in. It's no more than 3/4.
Okay, so the first thing so if you come over here,
First thing we talk about the hoses.
Mm-hmm.
They're securely mounted, no abrasions, cuts, or leaks.
Second thing, the hose clamps.
Hose clamps are securely mounted. They're metal, right? So they're not bent, cracked, or broken.
After the hoses, then we go straight to the alternator.
Go to the alternator, securely mounted. It's not bent, cracked, or broken. No bare wires, and it's belt driven.
Belt driven.
We got our belt, securely mounted, no abrasions, cuts. It's not dry rotted. It's not cracked. And there's no more than 3/4 inch deflection. So now we just start with the hoses again. Our hoses are securely mounted. There's no abrasions, cuts, or leaks. Our hose clamps are securely mounted. They're not bent, cracked, or broken. Our coolant, securely mounted, is filled to the proper level. Okay? I'm working my way down. My water pump, right here. And if you follow the hose in the bottom of the radiator, it goes right into the water pump. Our water pump, which is also belt driven, is securely mounted. It's not bent, cracked, or broken. Special word, and it's not leaking. Okay? Our oil is right here. Our oil dipstick. Now we don't have to physically pull it out, but we gotta explain like what we would do.
Okay.
I'm gonna pull out the oil dipstick. I'm gonna wipe it off, and then I'm gonna put it back in, pull it back out, make sure it's between the add and full. Okay. Our power steering reservoir, securely mounted. It's not bent, cracked, or broken. It's not leaking. Okay. It's filled to the proper level, and I would check it the same way as my oil, either through the sight glass or through this cap. Okay. Everyone's seen Wheel of Fortune before?
Yeah.
All right. So there's the lady that we always stared at, Vanna White. Anyways, Vanna White. You know how she always pointed to the next letter, right? Well, we can't see this section of it because it's along the frame, and that's our power steering pump and our air compressor. It's going to be along the frame in the back. You can't physically touch it or see it. So we're going to Vanna White. We're going to point in this direction. We're going to say my power steering pump and my air compressor is securely mounted. It's not bent, cracked, broken. It's not leaking, and it's gear driven. All right. Belt's up there. If it's not up there on the belt, then it's gear driven. Okay. So we're going to work our way down more, and we're going to go to our steering gearbox. Our steering gearbox, securely mounted. It's not bent, cracked, broken, and it's not leaking. Our hose is securely mounted. No abrasions, cuts, or leaks. Our clamp, securely mounted. It's not bent, cracked, or broken. Okay. My steering linkage, which consists of the pitman arm and the drag link, is securely mounted. It's not bent, cracked, or broken. My castle nut and my cotter pin is in place and not missing. You see the cotter pin. All right, so once I do my steerage and I work my way, I start from the way in and work my way out. We're doing suspension now, okay? So my spring hanger in the front, right here, and my spring hanger in the rear is securely mounted. It's not bent, cracked, or broken. No missing hardware or bushings. Okay? My leaf spring, you can see the leaf spring, securely mounted. It's not bent, cracked, or broken. It's not shifted or missing. Now this truck, it only has 1 leaf spring on it. Your test trucks are going to probably have like 2 or 3. So that's what it means by shifted or missing. Okay? My U-bolts, the U-bolts right here. Right here, which holds everything together. Securely mounted, it's not bent, cracked, or broken, and the nuts are present and tightened on the bottom. Alright. My shock absorber, right here. Securely mounted, it's not bent, cracked, or broken, and it's not leaking. Why would it leak? Exactly. Has fluid in it. You're going to see leaks right here if it's leaking. Alright. Continue working our way out. Brake chamber hose, which is an air hose, by the way. Securely mounted, there's no abrasions, cuts, or leaks. My brake chamber, which is right here, securely mounted, it's not bent, cracked, or broken, and it's not leaking. The clamp is secured around the brake chamber. Okay. My slack adjuster and push rod. Right here is your slack adjuster, this bar right here. I'm touching. Your push rod is the rod that goes into the brake chamber. My slack adjuster and push rod are securely mounted, not bent, cracked, or broken. There's no missing hardware. And my push rod should have no more than 1 inch of play with the wheels chocked, the engine off, and the brakes released. Alright, so how you would check that, if that was all the case, you'd pull on the slack adjuster and make sure that the push rod has no more than 1 inch of play. My brake drums and linings, which is in here is your brake system, are securely mounted. They're not bent, cracked, or broken. They're not worn too thin, and I see no signs of oil and grease, which is on your paper. We like to add dirt. So dog, abbreviate dog, right? Dirt, oil, or grease. So as we work our way out, I like to start with my rim. My rim, securely mounted. It's not bent, cracked, or broken. And there's no illegal welds on the inside of the rim or the outside. My tire, which is my front steer tire, it is securely mounted. It's not worn too thin. There's no abrasions, cuts, or leaks. There's no bulges, and it's not dry rotted, and it's within 430 seconds. That's your tread depth. Okay. I would check my tire with a tire pressure gauge, which leads into my valve stem. Securely mounted, it's not bent, cracked, or broken. It's not leaking, and it has a metal cap on it. That's a cap. You know why you're supposed to have, by the law, a metal cap? Does anybody?
So it doesn't melt, I guess?
Nope. What if you go to a job site and go out on like a dirt road or rocks or something like that?
Yeah.
You don't want no obstructions getting into it, right? You don't want nothing like dirt piling up into it. If dirt piles up into there without a cap on, it's gonna leak.
So wouldn't a plastic cap be fine?
Nope, metal.
Okay.
Yep. In this world right here, for a commercial motor vehicle, you're supposed to have a metal cap.
Okay.
All right. Lug nuts. Lug nuts are securely mounted. They're not bent, cracked, or broken. They're all present, none missing. There's no indication of looseness, which would show rust trails. And there's no crack at the base that would indicate an over tightening. Okay. Our hub seal, axle seal, securely mounted. It's not bent, cracked, or broken. No missing hardware. It's filled to the proper level. One way I would check it is I would pull this cap off and make sure that it's filled to the proper level and it's not leaking. This is a free spinning wheel. Okay, if you guys look at your drive axles, they're sealed. All right, there's no rubber cap on it. So that's a mechanical wheel. That's a power driven wheel. Okay. Your trailer is a free spinning wheel, so you'll be able to see the rubber cap. You pull them out. All right.
Pull the cat under the pressure.
Yeah.
Okay, it just pops out.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all you gotta do. So that's your Form A. Basically, it talks about your walk up, turn your lights on, check the lights, you go check the leaks, open up the hood, do the passenger side engine compartment, do the driver's side engine compartment, do the suspension, brakes, tires, wheels, lug nuts, and work your way out, and finish with this.
So that completes Form A.
Yep.
All right.
All right. Form B, going to be the same thing, but with some things added. Once we get to the rear suspension, tires, and brakes, it's all going to be the same. It's a recurring thing that we're talking about. So when it comes to suspension, tires, and brakes, there should be something that you know on every, A, B, or C, right? So Form B, I'm going to start right here on the side of the truck, the door area. My mirror is securely mounted, it's not bent, cracked, or broken. My glass, it's clean, it's not cracked or broken, and there's no illegal stickers. Okay. My marker light, my turn signal, is securely mounted, it's not cracked or broken. It's clean, the bulb is working, and it's amber in color. Okay. My door opens and closes freely. My door hinges are securely mounted, not bent, cracked, or broken. And my rubber seal, there's no cuts, no abrasions, and it's not torn. All right. My driver's step, my catwalk step, and my catwalk is securely mounted, and there's no tripping hazards. Alright. My DEF tank, securely mounted. It's not leaking, and it's filled to the proper level within an 1/8 full. Okay. My fuel tank and cap are securely mounted, and they're not leaking. My frame and my cross member are securely mounted, not bent, cracked, or broken, and there's no illegal welds. There's 3 items on this whole form, A, B, and C, that you would specify illegal welds, and that's your rims and your frame and cross member on your tractor, not the trailer.
Not the trailer. Not the trailer.
So the trailer's cross members can be welded.
Yeah, you don't have to specify legal welds on that.
Okay.
Okay. My drive shaft, right here, securely mounted, not bent, cracked, or broken. My U-bolts or U-joints, there's no obstructions or nothing lodged in the U-joint. Looks like a big old knuckle in the back, and you got a knuckle up here in the front.
For testing purposes, we can make the same hand gestures as you just made.
Yeah, you can actually get you a wooden dowel rod that's yay big. I forgot mine up in my truck, but you can actually point to. You can stand right here and touch what you're talking about.
You just can't touch the brake controls when you're doing the in-cab thing.
Exactly. All right, now we're going to talk about the exhaust. Now, me personally, some instructors are different, but me personally, I like to go to the passenger side during my test and talk about the exhaust. I'll be right in a second. We don't have a stacked exhaust up here. We have what they call like a grass burner. It's actually down here on the passenger side, and it hangs down towards the asphalt. So my exhaust would be securely mounted, it's not bent, cracked, or broken, and it's not loose. The clamps are secured, and there's no signs of soot, which would indicate a leak. Okay. So during your test, I would just go to the passenger side and talk about it because that's where it's at. Okay. So now that we've talked about all the new items so far up here, we're going to go right back into our suspension, brakes, tires, wheels. Okay. So let's go ahead and talk about stuff on the inside, which is going to be our brake chambers.
Should we not be on the passenger side right now?
Nope. Everything's based off the left side, driver's side. So let me just unhook this shit.
We can't uncouple it when during the test.
No.
Oh, we can't uncouple.
So our brake chambers gonna be right here. There's two, one on either side. They're a little bit bigger. They have 2 clamps on them. You don't have to specify both clamps, but if you want to, that'd be fine. Brake chambers are securely mounted, they're not bent, cracked, or broken. They're not leaking. You can see them right here. All right. They're not leaking. Both clamps are around the brake chamber and securely tightened. Okay? Brake line securely mounted. No abrasions, cuts, or leaks. My spring hanger in the front, which is right here, is securely mounted, not bent, cracked, or broken. There's no missing hardware or bushings. My leaf spring, securely mounted, it's not bent, cracked, or broken. None missing and none shifted. Go ahead and talk about my brake lines and my brake drums and lining is securely mounted. It's not bent, cracked, or broken. It's not worn too thin. And there's no signs of dirt, oil, or grease. My tire, securely mounted. It's evenly treaded, no less than 2/32. There's no abrasions, cuts, leaks. It's not bulging, no bulges. It's not dry rot. We'll check it with tire pressure gauge. There's going to be 2 rims right here. So there's dual tires, right? So I would check both of my tires, all right, with a tire pressure gauge. Both of my valve stems are securely mounted, not bent, cracked, or broken. They're not leaking and they have a cap. My lug nuts are securely mounted. They're not bent, cracked, or broken. There's none missing. There's no rust indicating looseness, and there's no cracks at the base indicating over tightening. My axle seal, securely mounted. It's not bent, cracked, or broken. There's no missing hardware, and it's not leaking. Okay.
What is that water? Is this just rain?
Condensation.
Now, back here, you got airbags. Okay, which they either call it airbags or what's that?
That bolt's okay in the tire?
No, we got people coming to change tires.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't worry about all that stuff. So that airbag right here, our airbag is securely mounted. There's no abrasions, no cuts, no leaks, no dry rot. Okay, so the airbag. My upper support for my airbag and my lower support for my airbag is securely mounted. It's not bent, cracked, or broken. All right. Now, typically we unhook the trailer, but right in here between the frame, I want you all to crawl underneath there. There's a crossbar. All right. I want you to go look at it. Hold on. Dog
You
bar.
see it?
Oh,
You see the crossbar?
yeah.
No,
Oh, that's the uncoupling. Oh,
So
okay.
you're just working off of the left side. So
Okay.
you're just checking everything based off of the left side.
So do we say anything about the crossbar when we crawl underneath
Yeah,
her?
it's called the dog bone, right?
This one, right?
So the dog bone is securely mounted. It's not bent, cracked, or broken.
The dog bone is securely mounted,
It's
not.
connected to the frame and the rear axle. The pumpkin there. See it? It's a little bar. It's about this long, this big around. It's that long. All right.
It look like you can move it. It look like it can move, right?
Well, it's stabilizing the frame and the. Yeah, I mean it keeps. You know, like on a personal vehicle, they have like the drag bars in the back to keep it to where it's not torquing. It's like a torque arm, basically. See it?
Yeah.
All right. So once we talk about that, then being that we're already underneath there, we can finish it out by talking about the rear of the tractor, which is going to be your tail lights and your mud flap. All right. So your mud flap is securely mounted. It's not bent, cracked, or broken. All right. We're talking about this.
Yeah.
Not specifying just the mud flap itself.
I thought you said that was the air brake.
Huh?
I thought you said that was the air brake.
No.
No, I mean airbag. I mean.
The airbag's right there.
Oh.
You ever seen? I mean, you've seen car shows with people that have airbags, right?
I was confused at first because
Alright.
I thought you pointed at that.
No. My tail lights. So my tail lights, my turn signals, and four-way flashers are securely mounted and not cracked or broken. They're clean. The bulb is working, and they're red in color. Okay. So that's your whole B section.
So that's it.
Yeah.
Session concluded.